Hello, welcome to Chrysalis Invictus Tarot. Today we have a cosmic love reading. So if you're familiar with the Florence and the Machine song Cosmic Love, it's been stuck in my head for quite some time now, and I felt called to do a reading with that theme. So this is for deep connection, not for like hookups or light interactions. That being said, sometimes our deepest loves are not with our romantic partners. So keeping that in mind, we have 4 piles. The first is represented by this little owl. The second, we have this ruby ring. Third is an oil by Hagroot. I will tag that in the description box. Circe. And sunglasses for the 4th one. So taking a moment here to ground down, taking a nice long, slow, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feeling calm and peaceful, making your selection, and I will meet you at your pile. All right, pile number 1. Just need to light a candle. It's that time of day where I live that we start to lose light very early and very quickly, it feels like. So we'll just set up a little bit more illumination. Perhaps that will help. All right, let's take a look at what you got, pile number 1, with this little owl fellow. So your first card is Uranus, Genius. There's a plan to this connection. One or both of you is fairly calculating when it comes to this connection, but you can see the divine reaches in. The divine takes over when you are not present with it. And the planet here, it always gives me this egg feeling that there are multiple new beginnings in this connection. We have the number 9. But there's also a sense of chaos. So this connection is like a structure and a foundation for chaos, or potentially one or both of you have to endure a lot of chaos before you come together. Let's take a look at what else we have, and maybe we'll get some clarity. 6th house. So this is the house of Virgo. We have the word here, routine, the number 30. These things could be important to you. Again, we have this geometric shape that echoes not only, I think this is the sun. This is a painting by William Blake. And I believe it's orc reaching down. It's orc or Urizen. I get them mixed up. Anyway, if you're into William Blake, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not, maybe look it up. William Blake could be relevant to this connection. We also have the 2 circles in each one. So it's this sense of infinity, this sense of, this is a very long held connection that is continuously reborn energetically and physically. Embodied, over and over and over again. I feel like there's something really important about the physical body in your connection. So it could be that one or both of you struggle with this, or that when you come together, you will do something in relation to the body. I really feel like this is a connection where you will work together. So sometimes, if you're familiar with twin flame lore, they talk about a mission, but there's definitely people who are meant to come together and work together. And I really feel that for this connection. But let's see what else we have. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So deep, deep emotional connection here. A very deep emotional connection. But we have emotional, mental, poetic, and physical connections all represented so far. So this is a very all-round sort of connection. But there's an aspect to it that could be very painful, or both people experience a lot of pain in this life, a lot of struggle through that chaos that we were talking about before. Full moon in Scorpio. So this connection will likely come together on a full moon. That's how it feels. In a time when both parties recognize each other. That's an interesting message. And step out of your comfort zone, North Node. Wow. Okay, so you see this light here. This to me feels like a zoomed out version of this and this. That these are all echoes of one another, and you can see that there are two streams of light that meet. And this is where you cross in the center of the North Node. This is a very destined connection. And I know this is called cosmic love, but there's a lot of earthiness to this cosmic connection. And North Node, it is together that you learn lessons. So there's this like chaos, this struggle, this heaviness that exists prior to you coming together. And then there's the learning together. So there's two halves to your life almost. There's the part where you are not with this person and the part where you are. Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. That's how this connection feels. So you'll know it because it feels like a long nap. Or it could feel like waking up from a long nap. I'm getting that neither one of you really felt or experienced the love you are capable of before you come together. There's an offering of sweetness, of refreshment, it's the divine infusion. And there's this feeling of rising and ascension when you come together. Let's see what your tarot cards have to say. We have the messenger of earth, definitely an earthy pile. So I'm feeling like even if you're not if your sun isn't in an earth sign, I'm really feeling that there is an earth connection. There's also a shamanic element to this connection. So one or both of you may be connected to a more earthbound practice as opposed to a more starbound practice. This is also a very slow moving connection. So you will likely, even if you meet early on, you won't become a couple for quite some time because of the slow moving energy. There's a need for, with this sixth house, there's a need for a tremendous amount of home comfort and stability before the connection can come together. We have the Chariot. So this is Cancer energy, number 7. Interesting. Okay, this could be a really specific message. I'm not sure. This person represents, or for a period of time will represent, half of a whole. So it could be that you find yourself drawn to two different people and you're unsure of which person is the right person for you. And it's only when you are unintegrated in yourself, so when you have this division within yourself, that you cannot see this person as an integrated whole themselves, because they mirror you in a way. And so for a long time, you may feel like you have to make a choice between them and another person. But as you grow and as you develop, the choice is made, or the choice makes itself. And it could feel at first like there's an element of dark and light, or an imbalance of one or the other. But in this perspective switch, and as you grow, you will begin to see both sides of this person. So either you will only see their light element or only see their dark element. And then at some point you will start to see both. So this is someone who may come off as very dark, but they are like sunlight, or they may come off as very light, but then you will discover that they have this deep kind of Scorpio energy. Deep, strong emotional currents in this connection. And finally, we have the 10 of air. Yeah, lots of big, painful lessons for both of you in this love connection. Not necessarily pain from each other, but from life in general, simply because the intensity of your connection means that both of you are in need of learning these deep emotional lessons, of learning through the chaos. There's a tremendous amount of intellectual ability between the two of you. And so these swords, the 10 of air is usually swords. And in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's a body with 10 swords in its back. And it's sort of like paying penance for an intellectual gift or ability. And so we find that here, except in this deck, it's the 10 of air. And so it's wings or feathers that have been plucked out of the wings. And so there will be many trials of feeling unable, feeling lesser than, feeling unworthy. And both of you have to learn how to become worthy without each other. Let's get some advice, some magical advice for you, pile number 1, your cosmic love connection. We have, perseverance, the motivation to keep going despite the odds. And this is going to be difficult for one or both of you. I feel like you have very mirrored experiences, the two of you. So anything I say about you is relevant to them as well. That's another aspect as well, is that the masculine and feminine here will have to come into balance within each of you. So all dualities come into balance before a union, or before full union. You both bear the markings of the infinite, I'm hearing. So whatever that means, maybe that's relevant to you. What other advice do we have? Magical spell cards. So these cards, if you have enough time, or if you want to go back and pause, if you draw this in a notebook and focus on the word perseverance, it has a magical quality to it. Happy, love, oh my gosh, yes. I feel like this, when you come together after all that you've been through, it's just going to feel so good. This is Ten of Cups meets Ten of Pentacles, you know, that stable foundation, because you've got the earthiness, you've got the Virgo energy here, and the Uranus, which is a, it's almost like trickster, that you've beaten the riddles, you've beaten the odds, you've solved the labyrinth, essentially, is what I'm getting. A joyful, stable partnership and good friends. Oh my gosh, yes. And don't you guys deserve it? Holy moly. Let's see, one more, please. Fire. All right, so this earth connection is infused with fire, or this earthy connection. The element of fire heralds new life, renewed passion, and positive transformation. Beautiful. I feel like your union is really this fire element. It's really going to reflect this new life, this renewed sense of passion. Like I said, there was a card, it was the North Node, that once you come together, there's the life prior to this person and there's the life after this person. And those are, you're still you, but they're two different experiences, for sure. And I'm just going to get a divine door for you. Oh, okay. It's so I'm actually going to be pulling a few more cards after this because they want to send you a message. Trust the universe. For you two, divine timing is huge and maybe seemingly unfair. So trust the universe. Intuition has wandered and led you astray. The timing's not yours, but the universe at play. So there could be some issues of that, definitely with the level of like karma and chaos that both of you deal with. There could be a lot of feelings of sort of injustice in you coming together. Destiny. Wow. I know this reading is called Cosmic Love, but we're starting off very strong with this cosmic love connection. You guys are like the ultimate. Destiny. One door closes, another opens for you. Let the plans of destiny unravel true. I really feel like, it's all well and good to say let it unravel, but it doesn't necessarily feel that way, does it, when you're in it? All right, so I'm going to pull some flower cards, and these are going to act as messages from your person, from your divine counterpart. Optimism. Look up and look brightly. Anemone. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's some aspect of your connection that you can meet through mythology, particularly Greek mythology, and there's a specific story. There's a specific story that maybe you've heard of, or maybe you've read, or that you will read, that is reflective of your story with this person. So that's, for some of you, there's some sort of connection there, that your love story is playing out that story. The other message that's coming through here is that I am not there to support you, but I want you to stay bright. And I'm trusting that even though I'm not there in person, or not there to support you or hold you in this time, in our time of separation, I am supporting you as I can. In other realities and other realms, I am with you, and I know that we can get through this without each other, and it's going to feel so good to be together. Remember me. So there may be some past life work you can do to help you to remember this person. And then we have Tiger Lily, security. Choose the safe harbor for now. The safe harbor is yourself. But more than anything, this person is working on securing a future for you both. This is their goal. This is their mission with this sixth house, and moving up from the page of earth, or the messenger of earth, to the king of earth. This is what this person is working on. They're working on securing a material foundation for you both. And you may be doing that as well, but this is something, it's a very strong value of theirs. I wouldn't be surprised if their Venus was in Virgo. So those are the messages that I have for you, pile number 1. I hope this was helpful. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how this resonated, and we'll see you soon. Okay, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the ruby ring. I'm going to put it on. Let's take a look at your cards. Mars, force. Oof. So there's a lot of solar plexus and sacral chakra energy between you, a lot of primal energy, a lot of force, a lot of sexual power, potency, energy. This is definitely a combustible connection to an extent, or can be. There's a terrible range of things you can do to each other, but there's also a beautiful range of things that you can do for and with each other. Let's take a look at the other card. Oh, okay. Destiny. Yeah, so there are definitely some challenges in this relationship. The fiery energy and the destiny here, it means that this connection is one where one or both of you will be triggered. Probably both of you will be triggered a lot by each other in the beginning. So you may come together quite passionately in the beginning, maybe just hooking up, maybe you have a short passionate relationship, and then it may fall apart while you mature. That won't be up for all of you, but this connection does not do immaturity well. It's in immaturity, it is everything that is toxic about you, everything that is toxic about them playing itself out, almost like a stewing pot for those kinds of energies. Full moon, surrender to the divine. Yeah, and so at some point during this connection, you surrender the connection to the divine. So you give up on the connection, you let them go, maybe you forget about each other. And this could be for any amount of time. So for some of you, this could be years. For some of you, this could be weeks or days. But there's a period where you will leave it to the divine. You stop controlling, you stop pushing, you stop forcing, and you leave it to the divine to bring you in together. And that's after many cycles of release for some of you, lesser for some, depending on how much work you have to do, how much trauma you have, how many, issues you have to work through, attachment issues and that sort of thing. So it really depends on who is watching this and how many barriers you have toward union. But this is, the cycle of the moon. Each time you are released, you are coming closer to this person. However, it's cyclical, so it may not feel like progression. And that's where you have to give it up to the divine and let divine timing come in. Let the universe bring you together. And an example of that would be like you don't see someone for like 3 years and then you run into them or see them everywhere around town, or they end up being at a party you're at, or you're brought together. You will be brought together. So if you're in separation right now, you may have an inkling of who this person is. Your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. Aha, yes. Okay, so part of what happens in a connection like this is that you may rush in, you may be underdeveloped, and because of the passion, because of the immensity and the deepness of this connection, you feel that it's cosmic love, but you don't have the foundation built. So it's just it's like lighting fire on gasoline, but having nothing substantial underneath it to catch that fire and hold it and make it burn for a long time. It may take several tries for this love to work. I want to say that if this is the kind of relationship that can also sound, an abusive relationship can be mistaken for a relationship like this. And so please be aware of, I just want you to be careful that you're not justifying a toxic, terrible relationship with what this is. Like, yeah. If there is any form of abuse going on, please seek some help for that. Okay. This shouldn't be creating new trauma. Reflections of past trauma is different than creating new trauma. So I just want to be very careful with this pile, that you understand that it's like an intensity and immensity in both people, but neither one is actively trying to hurt the other. Oh yes, and you received 3, the most of these cards. So let's take a look at the Work Your Light. It's funny that you received 3 because I feel like there is a lot of light work to be done here, or a lot of shadow work, I should say, to come to the light. So protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Okay, so because of the level of intensity of this cosmic love you're seeking, you may seek other or be involved in other love situations that are this intense, that are abusive, or that are what people might call karmic. Those relationships, you will need to learn to protect yourself, or that will teach you to protect yourself and to cut these cords. And so I'd like to take a moment here to practice with you. If you just sit up nice and tall, close your eyes and become aware of the space between the crown of your head and your root. And see that space light up like a pillar of energy. That pillar of energy becomes magnetized and begins to draw in any fragments of your energy that you have left out in the universe. So anything you have leaked, anything that you have given, it's okay to take it back. All of those people will be fine. You can take it back. Allow all of those fragments to come back into that space, feeling yourself naturally magnetized, breathing into that space, filling yourself up. And then as you call back the fragments, you're able to radiate out from that space. Long, slow, deep breaths. Fully integrating the fragments into that pillar of energy between the crown and the root. All right, so you can use that exercise anytime you need it, anytime you feel depleted, and continue to use that exercise, particularly if you've had contact with anyone that you feel that you had not protected yourself from. There's also an indication here that your soul tribe and your community are going to be just as important to you as any single love. This will also be a lesson that your cosmic partner will be learning. And you may not know this about them until later. Like, this may not be something you know that you share, because you may perceive them as having been someone that you have to protect yourself from, or cut a cord with. Okay, let's take a look at what else you have. Oh, the ever unfolding rose. So this is something that gets more beautiful and more soft over time. So it may start with a fiery ignition, a fiery beginning, but then it starts to soften. You start to see each other in a more affectionate, more compassionate way. More and more compassion leads to more and more love. And this connection unfolds beautifully and gently over time. Cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. And that's a great reminder for this path and for this cosmic connection, because there are many pitfalls, many burns and scrapes along the way in this connection and on your way to this connection. And we have boundaries. Wow. Okay. So pile number 2, I can really feel that, you may have a history. I'm really feeling that you have a history of not great relationships, of really intense love affairs, potentially confusing situations, maybe a lot of situationships or hookups that seem like more, but they're not. And people who want to take of your energy. And this person is not going to be someone who does that to you. There may be a time where you think that that person does that, but it's a misunderstanding or a projection of yourself onto them, or a projection of what you have been through, the pain you've been through before, onto that person. So they're not necessarily someone who has actually done that to you, but they have caused you pain because they've broken your heart, or they haven't fulfilled promises, or, at this impulsive, fiery energy, they might come in and out very quickly. And then, you're left wondering whether that actually happened or if you imagined it. There's all kinds of things. And with this boundaries card, again, like pulling the energy into your center, that magnet. So the other exercise you can do is creating this protective barrier around yourself using feelings like gratitude. But where we charged ourselves in our center, you can infuse that center with gratitude, with love. And as that radiates out, no one can take that from you. And it also creates this beautiful barrier that allows good to come both in and out, so that you are not putting up walls. So it could be that for a long period of time you put up walls, and that's why you can't see this person clearly. And they've done the same thing, so they can't see you clearly. But as those walls start to come down, you will start to see each other and you will start to be held. But you can feel like here, there's all kinds of people reaching out for their energy. You have something magnetic and beautiful and bright, and people want to draw from that. So you have to be careful about who you let close to you. And you will learn as you grow who the right people are. The question at the bottom of this card is, where do you need to establish better boundaries? So that may be a question you might want to journal on. having a reflection on where you need to establish better boundaries. And it's not like you've done anything wrong. That's the thing. Like sometimes these things, it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I've been doing it all wrong this whole time. And it's not about that. It's like, it's just once your awareness has been brought to it, now you have the option to do something about it if it feels available to you. 7 of Water. Okay, so again, with the kinds of people that you attract, there's definitely this feeling of, illusion, a lot of false cosmic loves, or some people that are giving you the impression. But the one thing that you can take from that is that there are qualities of those people within your person. And so your person is like a quilt of all of those qualities that you have loved in those other people. So you've been getting close. That's what you've been feeling. So rather than beating yourself up for failed relationships or mistakes, if you will, consider that you have been getting closer each time. I'm really getting that you two connect in dreams, in dream life. The 4 of Water. So heavy water energy. We have water and earth and fire. So everything. But it could be that the water aspect is really difficult to navigate because of all of this fiery passion. So it's almost like when your first response is to get angry instead of cry, and then you don't really process those emotions. You may have to process and cry at these full moons when you're doing those releasing. Come into your emotional body and allow that to flow. With the 4 of Water, yeah, there's like a sense of loneliness and grief. It's almost like you feel like that person is gone before you've even met them, or that you will never meet them, or that you're going to die alone, and all of these things. And that's just not the reality. Because you're looking for it and you're reaching out for it. And finally, we have Strength. The unbearable fire of passion creates this strength. And that is really what you come into through this entire process. This is the Leo card. And it's the only one I think that we've had that represents. So Mars is Aries. But Leo is the only one, I think, and Taurus. Leo and Taurus. This connection is forged in fire. It is something that is struggled to get to. And because of that, it will feel like you have met your teammate. It will feel like you have met, again, like that quilt, a combination of all the things that you have loved about everyone else, a full and truly deep partnership. There's the energy here of I would follow you into battle. And that's really, it's like a king and queen on their throne. I'm seeing like the king and queen of wands. I really do feel like there's a strong fire energy in this pile. So let's take a look at some advice, some magic for this connection. Maybe what you can do in the meantime if you haven't met this person, or even if you have and you're waiting for union, maybe you recognized who this person might be. Air. Work with the element of air to cut through to the core of a situation and to see the truth. So this this could be even therapy, or understanding your connection and your lessons through ideas, through reading, through philosophy. The more you research things, the more you understand yourself and them. And this can be helpful in cutting through some of those passionate energies and stabilizing here with the element of air, which is funny because I feel like that's the first time that air has really been represented in this reading. And then we have labyrinth. Yeah, and a connection like this isn't easy. You walk the labyrinth to find each other, and then you have to walk the labyrinth out together, essentially. But once you're walking out, you have the knowledge and the skills and everything that has been built individually. You have that together, so you have that as a team. And it says, transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration, enlightenment. Enlightenment. I'm really feeling philosophy for you guys. Or some kind of higher thinking, higher learning. You may meet in school, or you may connect through ideas. And perseverance. So it says the motivation to keep going despite the odds. And there is that feeling of hopelessness and that feeling of loneliness. And so it really is a trial. It takes endurance. It takes strength. It takes everything you have to make it through. And there may be times where you feel like this person is never going to show up, that you're never going to meet them, or if you know them, that you're never going to come together. But you will. You will, because you must. It's a cosmic connection. All right, I'm going to get a door card for you. And let's see if we can get maybe some messages from your person. It'll help you maybe understand who this person is a little bit better, or what messages they have for you. So the first door I have for you is offerings. Sorry it took so long. I keep dropping the cards on the floor. And offerings says, abundance lies in the heart that allows, share more than expected, and see love come around. So yeah, throughout your love life here, prior to union with your person, you are giving and not receiving. This person is going to jump in and want to give to you. Will you be ready to receive? You will be, because you will have gone through these lessons. But maybe when you first meet, you're not ready to receive their love and what they have to give. And that's why you have to go through all of this. So are you able to love yourself as much as you love them? Forgive and forget. Ooh, this is definitely speaking to this beginning, or this like fiery aspect to the connection, that there could be words exchanged or things exchanged that are hurtful or painful. And so there will be a need to forgive in this connection. A ritual cleansing of pain and lies. Arise and awaken, see a new sunrise. And it'll be not just forgiving and forgetting what has happened between you and this person. It could be forgiving and forgetting what has happened in your life. So when you start to clear away the resentments that you have toward parents or friends or whatever, the things that accumulate throughout our lives, that's when you'll come into union with this person. Okay, and then finally, let's see if we can get some messages from them. What is the message from pile number 2's person? Azalea, temperance. So we have Sagittarius here. Find balance and be centered. Yeah, and there is a need for both of you to learn how to find your center. You may both find yourself off kilter for many years, especially in more immature energy. And this person is saying that okay, so if this is someone you already know, or even at the beginning of this relationship, there is a hole within you that you try to fill with this other person and vice versa. When you come together in full union, that hole will be filled by you. And so you will both be coming to each other with full cups. And then that divinely flowing energy between you will be there. I see a garden with hooks and hanging plants and lanterns and long talks into the night. Beautiful, warm summer nights. So this could be memories, or this could be something that's coming later. And we'll see one more message from your person. Ooh. Again, I drop it on the floor. Sweet Elysium. Allison, clarity. You just don't see me that way until you do. I just don't see you that way until I do. So depending on which side you sit on, one of you doesn't see the other person for what you are, but the other does. And that's part of this imbalance that's here, that temperance is coming in and balancing. Bright paths of understanding will open. So I feel like at some point I mentioned how this person, it may seem like you have less in common than you actually do. You won't be able to see how similar you are, or how they are like you, like their relationships. They're the ones who serve and give and are taken for granted and all of those sorts of things, because you feel they are that person to you, but you both take turns in being that person. And the light, the fire, eventually becomes a guide. So where at first it burns it down and it destroys the relationship, it becomes a guide. I see your light, and I will follow it. That's your message. Pile number 2, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please give it a comment, a like, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose this little vial of oil, Circe. So I will say she is a goddess or a demigoddess of witchcraft, and was well known for shape-shifting and converted men into pigs. So I don't know if that's relevant to you, but there you go. Fire element, desire. Ooh. Starting off hot and heavy. So I'm hearing, you lit a flame inside me. This person feels cold, feels earthen and damp. So watery, earthy energy. And they're very quiet. And they may have lived a very quiet, not so thrilling life, like a pretty ordinary life. This is the kind of person who has a deep inner world, but they're, an accountant, and you would never think of them as being spiritual or that they sought adventure or mystery in any way, shape, or form, but they are excited by you. You lit this fire inside of them. We have the number 37 here. And they want to wrap around you and hold you and be affectionate with you, but they're afraid that they might dampen your fire, that they might put you out with their energy. And so they're very cautious with you, and they may not show that they appreciate or love this vital energy in you. So you may have no idea if this person likes you or not. Ooh, South Node, life stats. Okay. Interesting. So this is a painting of the Devil or Satan by William Blake. And the South Node is considered the tail end of the dragon. So it's where all of the releasing happens. All of the karmic crap from past lives passes through. And the lyrics for, is it a Gwen Stefani song or No Doubt? You're what I deserve for being a good girl. That's what I'm hearing. But I'm really getting that you may feel or they may feel. So if it doesn't resonate what I'm saying when I say you can reverse and assume that I'm talking about them, but that one of you feels like you've had too much life experience and you're too wild. So whoever the fiery person is feels that they're too wild, or they wouldn't be accepted, or there may be some shame to work through, and that shame gets projected onto this earthy, watery person, thinking that they're not stable enough, not really knowing that that person admires them greatly for their fire and for their ability to work through difficult things and to face chaos and to face difficulty head on. This is someone who has not faced their demons necessarily, or there's so much past life. I want to say that this person really struggles to process their past life. I feel like they haven't really connected to themselves spiritually as much as they need to begin to work through that. And so they carry shames and embarrassments, or they reserve themselves because they don't know how else to be. And you start to show them how to be. They feel very comforted by your fire, not scared of it. But because they aren't overt about it, you think that they might be uncomfortable with it. Meditate and contemplate. There is a strong current of non-verbal communication between the two of you. New moon in Pisces. You plant seeds in your dreams. You plant seeds, and your most tender moments with this person are non-verbal. So there's a huge, all cosmic love has a psychic connection, but this is a very fluid psychic connection that it's a current, and you both feel each other's emotions, and it just is a stream that flows through you. Like there isn't a difference between your emotions and theirs. You share them. And because you represent all elements together, combined, you're able to process these things together. So you're definitely, of my cosmic piles, the most emotional of the piles. And that's part of the work that you are doing together, is processing emotions together. You really feel emotionally complete with this person. Full moon in Gemini. Ooh, that's coming up. I might need to publish this video a little bit earlier. I was going to put it out on Wednesday, but I might have to put it out before the full moon in Gemini, just for you guys. The full moon in Gemini on November 30th, and it's going to be an eclipse. The answers you need are coming. And both Gemini and Pisces have this duality aspect to them. So it's almost like the two of you are these two fish, or these two heads. And you'll really have a synchronicity to yourself. But I'm really feeling like visually or seemingly on the outside, you don't seem like you are like each other. Like people wouldn't think, oh yeah, those two peas in a pod, or two aspects of the same, like two sides of the same head. Because you're not exactly opposites. But there's a duality, like a sense of completion. And when you come together, it's not as simple as I'm white and he's black and we're, one's good and one's evil, and like, that it's not like that between you. And maybe outside things may be perceived that way, like the good girl with the bad boy, or something like that. But between the two of you, you know that it's nowhere near that simple. And the dynamic doesn't really work that way. All of those things become very, very fluid. This is a very natural, like, dance and movement. You feel like you're part of each other. And align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change. So there's a fragmented identity before you meet each other. There's definitely something puzzling about each one of you in your own ways. And when you meet each other, you begin to understand yourself better. That's part of this. The dual aspects is that with each other, even that we got new moon and full moon, when you are together, you begin to understand yourselves better. So for some of our cosmic couples, they needed to learn separately. But this is a couple that can come together actually fairly early. And maybe they don't, particularly if there's Cancer energy involved. I don't know why I said that, but if there is Cancer energy involved, it may happen later in life. But if this is something like where you met in high school, it totally fits that you would be together from a younger age, because you're able to do this work together. You make more sense to yourself when you're with this person. It's sort of like when someone meets your partner, they understand you better. Two halves of a whole. From your tarot, we have the 10 of water. Oh my gosh, you guys, what a beautiful, like, everyone looks at your love and they go, how do I get that? You guys have that sweet, sweet love where it's like, you get each other sweet presents, you fulfill each other. And not that there aren't struggles, but there's a lot of sweetness here. There's a lot of consideration, a lot of laughter. You guys are just really good friends too. The messenger of water, so much water energy here. I actually know a couple. Oh, I'm going to reach out to my friend. Be like, hey, Pick one of the piles and I'll tell you if it's yours. I bet she would pick this pile. So the messenger of water. There's definitely lessons to be learned here. There's times when you may or may not appreciate each other's, or you may take each other for granted. I really do feel like this pile gets together fairly young, or at least there's like a very young energy to your connection. So you may be very playful with each other. And then the Eight of Earth. So you work really well together. You have a unified vision, or at least a unified value as to what you would like or what you would want to work towards, and you help to work toward that together. There's a harmony to the way that you work. There are strong roots, so children could be really important in this connection. And the harmony is the roots of this connection. So even when you're going through the difficulties, beneath that is a shared song. And then from that grow all these different branches. And so I'm really feeling like you support each other in anything that, you know, if one starts to swim right, the other is like either, okay, I'm going to swim left and we'll meet up, or I'm going to swim right with you. And so there's this like closeness, but a freedom to that closeness. This is very a unique kind of special relationship, which is why people really envy this connection or wish that they could have one like it. Let's see what advice I have for you. I'm really feeling like this pile of all piles is already in union or very close to being in union. Successful career. So again, this is coming back to the Eight of Earth. A happy working environment, pay rises, and promotions. So you either really help to support each other in your work, or you create a really, this could be like a working together in the home, like a good business relationship within the home where, you know, because you have this like duality, you are able to work well at the business of life, not just the, you know, the love and the relationship and all of that kind of stuff is one part, but there is a business aspect to running a home that you guys are really good at, and you're able to blossom. So if it's not just the home, outside of the home, you're able to blossom in your career because of the support of this other person. Wishes come true. This is absolutely like 100% a dream come true, wishes come true kind of relationship. Rapid achievement of your dreams and wishes. And so when the two of you are working together, this can happen. So remember that if you are working against each other, it will set you back, but that you have the potential to work together and to build whatever you want to build. And healing. So this is a past life energy that I'm getting here, again with the South Node, that there's past life healing that happens in this relationship together. And maybe both of you have a lot of past life stuff that you have to work through, or you're both the breakers of a cycle, a familial toxic cycle, that you are the pioneers of your lines in your families. And so together you forge this new path. True healing of the mind, body, and soul. So all of these things are available to you in your relationship. If you want to pause the video for any of these cards, you can recreate these symbols and it'll help to bring that magic into your life. I'm going to get a few divine doors for you, see what else, what other messages we have for you, pile number 3. Beautiful love. This is not my pile, but I wish it was. Okay, look at this beautiful door. This one is the art of life. I don't know if that'll come into focus. There we go. There's no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. Yes. And just because other people don't have this connection does not mean you need to hide your connection. Or you know how sometimes we do that? We shrink to fit, or we don't share certain things. The right people are going to appreciate being around your connection is going to be infectious to other people and be lovely to other people. And I really feel like you help this person to be bold in their skin. So they may have been shyer, they may have been more reserved, and you are a person who brings them out of their shell. Again, I'm coming up with that Cancer energy. Okay, and fine, we have this door. Bless this space. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear. Palo Santo or sage will clear the air. So a beautiful home. And that's all it takes. I think this is like, you know, anything that you get stuck on in this relationship, remember that it's like you're best friends. You can do all of these things together. You make more sense together. And so maybe you just need to burn some sage, burn some Palo Santo, clear the space. If you are parents together or, you know, have a lot of responsibilities, getting away from that into the fresh air together, that can really help. And that's all it takes for your relationship. It takes a lot more for other relationships, believe it or not. And for you, it's just about reconnecting with each other. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how it resonated. And subscribe to my channel. I'd love to grow this channel and read for you more often. So we'll see you soon. Okay, pile number 4, you chose the sunglasses or the number 4. However you came here, this is your reading. We have Capricorn, I use. All right, so I'm getting a really strong bass note here. And a very strong Knight of Pentacles vibe. So a very slow moving energy. This is a slow developing energy. If for no other reason than the foundation to this relationship is so strong. And because it is very much rooted in stability in the material world. There is also an aspect to this relationship that involves career. And for some of you, spreading a divine vision to others, so a teaching element. Perhaps you teach together. 3rd house messages. Okay, so there's, yeah, okay. So this is something, this is an ancient connection. I know this is cosmic love. Each one of the piles, it's amazing how actually like cosmic and deep these relationships are. They are, and in unique ways, each one of them. So there's an ancient language between the two of you even. 22 and 27. So maybe a 5-year age difference. And you can send each other or receive symbols and messages through all different channels, but in the material. So it would be through words, through birds, through like images. But these messages have been sent throughout time. So an Egyptian, let's say you had an Egyptian incarnation, which I'm really getting for this pile, an Egyptian incarnation, it's been sent through the universe to now. And there is a message from your beloved somewhere in Egyptian lore. We had this with a different pile, but it was Greek. This is Egyptian or Sumerian, I'm hearing. And yeah, you've been sending each other messages. This could be a poetic couple, a reincarnated poetic couple that I'm getting here, who have written poems about each other. But there's messages scattered throughout time between the two of you. Wow, this is so interesting. Thank you, pile number 4. All right, so we have take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Okay. So someone in this connection gets really crippling depression or some kind of heavy energy. And that may be where the slow pace comes from. There could be an issue with overeating, weighing oneself down with food, or addictions. I'm just getting like a lot of physical sensations. So again, this is a very embodied connection. I'm getting like issues with breathing and the heart. So someone may have struggled with obesity, or may have issues with their heart or their lungs, or just not really being very fit at some point in their lives. And this has really taken its toll. This is such a strange message. But over here it's blue. And over here there's some yellow. Have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon. And it's interesting because the amount of light that's here would fit really perfectly there, but it's sort of in the wrong space. And it's just a reminder that you cannot fill the void in this person, that they must do that themselves. And so the pacing may be slow because this person has to find health. Health is a very, the third house communication, that's Mercury, but Virgo really rules the body here. And so there's this Virgoan energy to this card, or at least to what I'm getting, where like part of their life's lessons and part of their karma even could be to work through issues of the body, but they're really processing like past hurts and some sludgy stuff that may be coming through from their family. Sorry, I know I'm on this card, but I'm really stuck over here. And this could be the Capricorn in the connection. Doesn't have to be. But you can see that there's this, it's almost like dawn breaking, right? And so there is light that spills into this darker space. And it's through these symbols, it's through connection with stories, with symbols, with poetry, with art. This is very interesting. I want to see what else we have here. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Okay, so this is a connection where you're really going to feel the spiritual connection and the emotional connection, or the spiritual and mental connection, I should say. But the emotional connection is tied into the body, particularly through this person, or maybe it's through both of you, where because of this heavy energy, it's hard to come together in the physical. There's barriers. A head bowed with weight. So a very heavy head here. We have 2 of air. So this creates a level of indecision and being torn, and such a heart heavy kind of thing. It's like there's a lot of love, but it can be quite heavy, and one or both of you may have to walk away at some point so as not to watch the other person suffer. And I'm going to put this over here because I feel that's who it belongs to. Is knowing what to do, how to stay and watch this person hurt, really, as they work through karma. But there is a new beginning. Oh, thank goodness. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was getting pretty concerned about this pile, but look at this. We have the Fool. Yes. So this is where the dawn breaks. This is where we come through. That's this light in that communication. So in staying connected intellectually even. So it could be that this is a friendship that goes on for quite some time where you communicate intellectually, that you're both, you're both smart people who love ideas, and so there is this new fresh start that happens in your connection after a period of time. We have the messenger of air. And so once this beginning happens, it moves quite quickly from there. There's some clumsy communication when feelings first start coming out. So this could be kind of like an awkward period, not really knowing how to share that information, but really starting to opening the throat, opening to communicating, lifting out of that dark energy. There's like sun on the face. There's less heaviness. I'm feeling that lifting up, up, up. And though this could be you, if it doesn't feel like you, if you feel like you're the heavy one, then take it as it resonates. But this could be you. And though you have this lightness to you and this ability to lift the connection, you can't do it before this person starts to do it themselves. And then the 2 of water. Oh, that's so lovely. The 2, yes, the Fool, and then the 2 of water. This is like union and harmony and a beautiful understanding, and you're not judging this person for what they've been through. They're not judging you. You begin to work through things together. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so relieved. Let's get some advice, some magic for you for pile number 4. Some magic for pile number 4. Here we go. Happy love. This is like 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles combined. This is such a good thing, you guys. After, I'm like breathing a sigh of relief after all that heaviness. This weight is lifted and you get that bright day, you get the sun rising, you get the new beginning. J and K may be specific. Like one of you may have one initial and the other may have another. And that's like just for, I don't know how many of you, but 4 maybe. That's interesting. And yeah, so there's trust that there is a happy love coming. So whether you know this person or not, know that the beginning is going to be slower and heavier, but there will be a lot of omens connected to this and a lot of information. Oh my gosh, like you could not get more beautiful energy at the end of all of this. The star, the silver energy of the star brings good luck and serendipity. It brings hope. It is a bright future. It is whatever this person is processing, or maybe it's both of you. Whatever you're processing is very heavy. And it's almost like not only are you holding it together so it's less heavy, but like there's less to hold. Somehow it gets released. Somehow it just gets brighter and lighter. I hope that everyone kept watching to get to this part, because what a great, fantastic turnaround. I'm so happy for you guys. And self-confidence. Okay. So yeah, if this was something to do with the body, there is a renewed sense of confidence in that way, of self-image. What does this say? It says strong self-belief and a sense of worth. So that is what it may take this person or both of you a long time to get to that place. But once you're there, you have this beautiful connection to enjoy. A cure for longing. So this is your door. I'll show you your door first. So you can see there's a crack in the door and a light that comes through, which is the perfect door really for your reading. And it says, love is happiness, a spark inside. Live deliberately and choose boldly. Then you have arrived. Yeah, I really feel like for you guys, this will definitely be like, I choose you. And part of choosing each other is really going to boost that sense of self-worth. But the self-worth will already have to be there in a sense. And there's a sense of tradition with this door. What is this called? Freedom flows. Interesting. Don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. Dream grand things for divine sacred reason. And yeah, with the Fool, you begin this brand new life and you get to dream it together and you get to build together. So once you have created this strong foundation, there's nothing but love and like beautiful light energy coming. So can we get a message now from this person, pile number 4's person? Can we get a message from their higher selves? Peony, health. Oh my goodness. I'm hearing I'm a bag of bones, but that's my wealth. There's the poet. That's right. I forgot at the beginning there was that poet vibe here. Focus on all parts to make the whole. So this is definitely a lesson that's happening in this couple, in this pairing, and that they have to learn their bodies as part of everything else, as part of their emotional well-being, as part of their spiritual well-being. And once they do that, that begins the motion toward union. And this could be for both of you. A focus on health. What else are they saying? Peony, health. Oh, so I'm hearing if I bring you a bouquet of flowers, you'll know I'm ready. Okay, so this person, it could be that they come off as completely unromantic until they're not. And heart's ease, oh, that's that lifting that came out of the heart space. I'm so drawn to you in your lightness and your brightness and your life and your sense of certainty about things, and I hope to be a little more like you. You make me a better person just by knowing you. And Heart's Ease says, compassion, tread a little more tenderly. So when you're dealing with this person, they're more sensitive than you think. And certainly the energy that's over here is quite heavy, and a heavy person can sometimes come off as uncaring, or that they don't have as much sensitivity as they do. So you're reminded here that they are sensitive and they do feel very deeply. So that's what I have for you, pile number 4. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how this resonates, and I will see you soon.